What's going on? This is Chris Van Vliet, and you're watching Hawaii's #1 podcast, the Kasanova Podcast.
Yeah, I fly and I soar, but I aspire for more. Took some time so I can show you how this lion can roar. Sound the sirens, let them know I'm standing right at the door. I'm defiant, cause I know that I'm a giant at core. Yeah, I'm that boy. Let them know that I'm next level. I'm a whole new kind of guy, yeah.
Anywhere, look, if you can get a coconut and wire it into the ground, get some electricity, you can find us. We on the
Oh my God, I said put two coconuts together. Okay. Did you turn this off yet, man?
No, I can't record.
Turn it off, bro. This is embarrassing me.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Another episode of Hawaii's #1 podcast, the Kasanova Podcast, running 8 years strong at #1 out here. And today we got a very, very special guest. This one's a long time in the making. Been trying to get this one going for a minute, but we have very special guest, the one, the only, Antwan Richardson. Antwan, how you doing, man?
Hey, man, I like that intro. I'm going to need you to walk around with me.
I'd be hype, man.
Walk into the room first and be like, look, y'all, guess who's coming through this door right here?
Yo, I used to be an MC at clubs out here, so, man,
Did you
that's
really?
just yeah, I did that. I used to do radio out here, so, yeah.
Oh, man, that's the intro. I like that, man. I'm going to have to play that before I walk in anywhere with some music behind it.
Oh, man. So how you doing, man? How's everything going?
Man, I'm good, man. I ain't going to say nothing negative about anything going on in my life. It's good.
I hear you. I hear you. So, man, thank you for taking time out of your day. I know you're super busy, but thank you for taking time out of your day to come on the show. Such an honor to have you here. I know I've been trying to get this going for a long time, and I looked at some of my old conversations when I was getting started. I was like, man, how do I work with this company? How do I do this and how do I do that? And you like, work with it. You start small and then you'll eventually get there. And
Yeah.
you wasn't lying. You
Yeah.
wasn't lying.
It's that hole you got to crawl before you walk. And people hate freaking crawling, man.
Yeah, they do. They definitely do. So yeah, man, like let's talk about it. Go ahead. The floor is yours. The show is yours.
You real quick. You said you've been doing this 8 years strong now?
8 years strong.
The podcast or YouTubing or all together? What?
The podcast.
Man, you've been doing the podcast for 8 years, dude. That is a long time. I've been YouTubing. I'm about to celebrate 7 years in September. And I just think about the growth of my channel. So you've been doing this podcast 8 years. I tried to do a podcast. And I feel like I did a pretty good job, but I only lasted 3 months, 6 episodes or something like that. Cause it's hard work. So kudos to you because it takes a lot. First of all, to source guests to be on your podcast. And to get people to watch that podcast or even listen to it, that's a whole nother beast right there because it's a lot of work for a little bit of reward. Not to even mention the whole editing process of a podcast. Kudos to you, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it's something my friend Cameron and I we started podcasting. I want to say almost 10 years ago because we used to work together at Microsoft. He was always telling me, he's like, bro, we need to talk about tech. Let's talk about games. Let's talk about that. And I'm like, how are we gonna do it? He's like, let's do a podcast. I'm like, I don't know nothing about a podcast. Got all this equipment, didn't know how to use none of it. Yeah, we started off sitting in my old house with a Blue Yeti on a bar stool just recording, and then I just took it and ran with it. And 2019, not long after we had I reached out to you, I went full time just off of podcasting. My YouTube's getting there, but podcasting has I went from doing IT to this. So
that is freaking awesome. Congratulations on that conversion. I know that was very rewarding, but I want to go back. See, I feel like I'm interviewing you right now. What's going on? So you said you had a Blue Yeti on a bar stool and you're doing this podcast, man. That's just, I freaking love the origin stories of this stuff, man. Everybody starts somewhere. And I feel like I started I started with pretty good equipment, what I would call pretty good equipment, especially for a beginner. But man,
Mhm.
I don't know if you know this guy. His name is Jeff, aka El Jefe Reviews.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Big fan of his content.
I love his origin story because I haven't seen his first video. Well, I did watch a clip of it. He's telling me that he started with his phone. And back then, when I saw his stuff, I was like, you doing this on a phone? He was videoing and editing on his phone. And his first
What?
video took place on his stove top. I think he put like a piece of cardboard on the stove. And here you are telling me you had your microphone mount was actually a Yeti on a bar stool, man. I mean, look at us, man. Look, we're killing it right now, bro. We started from the bottom. We started from the bar stool. Now we here. Oh man, that's what's up.
Yeah, man. It's been a journey. Like, and it's opened a lot of doors. I get to speak every year at all the colleges out here and the high schools, and talk to the kids about because the kids now, like, you talk to them like you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, or you want to do this, and they're like, no, I want to be a YouTuber, I want to be a podcaster. And I'm like, all right, I can talk to you about it, but that might be a little bit more stable of a career than trying to do this. So
Yeah,
but,
that's for sure, man. Funny thing about what we do, you do it professionally for a living. I do it professionally for a living. Me and my wife, we have, well, it's her friends, but we're all friends now. The
mhm.
husband, he's an anesthesiologist, and I remember we were in where were we? I think it was Virginia or somewhere. And I'm walking with him. He says, "So you do YouTube videos for a living? Like that's all you do?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "All right, man. I respect what you do, respect you, and love you, but don't ever tell my kids what you do for a living." And, I mean, this is a doctor, right? So, his trajectory has led him to where he's at. And, he's teaching his kids, what,
Mhm.
how to do life or whatever. Excuse me. And at that moment, it totally clicked. Kids are impressionable. They think what we're doing is just turn on the camera, do something silly, and it just works. And, you make money from it. It don't quite work like that.
Yeah. It's, especially when you try to talk to people about like the business aspect of it, like
Mhm.
what people see, like if anyone watches, this podcast or listens to it, what you're seeing and hearing, that's like probably 10% of what we do. There's so much on the back end, from the equipment, post-production, editing, reaching out to companies reaching out to you. Cause you get to a point where companies gonna be just, you're gonna have an email, you're gonna wake up, look at it. Oh, I got like 100 some emails. Okay, yeah, spam. All right, I might take that opportunity. It gets like that, but there's so much that goes into it on the back end that I hope people understand. I know I've been preaching this for years now, but it's like it's not just sit here, hit record, or go live, and that's it. There's so much to this, and I know you could definitely speak more to this than I can.
Yeah, most of the work does happen off camera. It really does. But I think for a lot of people, I was just on a podcast previously, and they were asking me questions about the new guy. Like, what would I tell the new guy or girl who's getting started? The biggest thing is starting, like, you do have to press record. You got to film
Yeah.
that first video, and it is going to suck badly. But at the time, it's the best you can do. And then you make the next one a little bit better, the next one a little bit better, and you just keep going until you feel, good about what you're doing. And just, let the process be the process and enjoy every step of that. And that's
Well,
the key part right there, like enjoying the process. He also asked me, I won't I can't remember the exact question, but the process is, there's a
mhm.
lot of value in being in the moment during the whole process. And I was talking about how when you're looking around and you're seeing someone who might have started at the same time you do, or you did, or is doing the same type of content you're doing, and you look at them, they might be doing better than you via your perspective. And that really does steal your joy. And I'm guilty of it all the time. Like every day I'm looking at what I would call competitors or people who doing the same thing I'm doing. And I'm
Mhm.
thinking, how come my video didn't hit like this? Or, how come this didn't happen for me? And I'm like, I had to step outside of myself and be like, dude, shut up. Look where you at right now. Look what you got. You are like leaps and bounds better than you used to be. And that's what matters.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the battle with the imposter syndrome that's a hell of a fight. And it
You ain't gonna never win.
yeah, you never gonna win that one.
It's a losing battle.
Bro, I had there's a lot of folks that started it around the time. So I started doing YouTube, like really getting serious about that, or really starting doing YouTube aspect of it back in like 2017. And there's a lot of folks that started with the same time I did, and like they've grown to like 100,000 or a million, and I'm over here like, yo, I'm just shy of hitting 30,000. And
Mhm.
like, so I've had folks tell me, they're like, well, for all intents and purposes, what you just, you where you are versus where they are, you failed. And I'm like, I don't want to say that. That's not a failure. I took my time getting to where I am, and I didn't, because throughout this time I floated from tech, gaming, you know, movies, anime, like all the different things I'm into, whereas a lot of folks just stuck with one thing. Because I feel like as creators, we're multifaceted, and sometimes we kind of get stuck in one area where it's like, I don't want to just do that. Some folks can just ride with it, but
You are really speaking to me right now.
how so?
The being multifaceted, and because the whole thing with YouTube is to niche down your channel, right?
Yeah.
That way you get more views and attract a bigger audience. I tried that and it made me sick. I compare it to eating a ham and cheese sandwich. You like ham and cheese sandwiches? You eat meat? Some people
Yeah.
don't eat meat. I gotta ask.
Yeah.
So if you like a ham and cheese sandwich and I gave you one today for lunch, you're gonna be like, man, that was a good sandwich. Maybe tomorrow and the next day you still like that sandwich. But if you gotta eat that same sandwich every day, every meal for the next couple years, at some point you smell ham and you just want to vomit. And that's how
Yeah.
I felt when I was doing the same type of videos over and over again. So that has definitely stifled my growth a little bit, but I'd rather keep my sanity. I just sometimes feel like all money ain't good money.
That's true. That's true. And I want to speak on that because like looking at the content that you've done over the years, man, I love your style. It's fresh and it's very unique because a lot of folks, they'll get a tech product, spout off the tech specs, and it's very monotone.
Mhm.
And not knocking anybody, you do what you do, get your money how you do it, and get your views and whatnot. But like a lot of it is kind of cookie cutter. But when I go to your videos, it's fresh, it's original, it's fun, you're really engaging, and I can sense your excitement when you're looking at something or you're reviewing something. And I can't say that about other people. So like when you're excited, I'm excited. That's organic. So
Man, I really appreciate you saying that. And I can tell you the recipe is because it's me. I'm the same cat. Like, okay, for example, before you actually hit that record button, I'm the same person before and after the record button was pressed. Am I wrong or
yeah.
right?
No, you're
So
right.
I
You're
just
right.
put that in my videos, man. It's not that way I don't have to rehearse nothing. You know what I'm saying? And when you catch me off guard, you get the same thing. And so when you see me getting excited about a product, it's because I'm hyped. Like I love tech, but I don't like reading numbers.
Mm.
Here's something funny. There are some videos I've done, and if you actually listen, now that we're having this conversation, if you actually listen closely, some of my more recent videos, I'll have some B-roll going, and then you'll hear me talking about specs. And when you hear me talking about it, just listen closely to how it sounds in comparison to how it sounds when you see my face. It's because I'm reading, bro. The company wanted me to read some freaking specs. And I'm like, I don't like this shit. And I'm sitting here and I've had to read this shit like 4 times already. And I done messed it up. And then when I cut the camera to my face, I'm like talking again. It's me. I'm back. And then the B-roll starts, and I'm like, oh yeah, and this has a 14.4. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't stand this. Oh man.
And I can understand it because like you really break it down in real world usage. The average consumer don't care about none of that. They're
That's
like
what I
they
feel like
you
anyways.
know they want to know like is it good? What can you do with it? How can I actually use this in real world case scenarios? And that's why I love your content because you speak to the average consumer as well as the tech head too. But like it's just your approach is a way that so many tech creators I feel aren't doing, and I commend you for it.
But thank you, and I thank you for that. But it boggles my brain. This is where I get into that whole comparison thing. What you said makes perfect sense to me. That's why I do it, right? You say you appreciate it, but I wonder who else really appreciates it because I ain't getting that many views sometimes. And I'm like, do they want the plain, sandwich? Or do you want some seasoning on the sandwich? Like, come on, man. Like, it seems like the guys who actually do, that type of content actually, they actually kind of get pushed forward a little bit more by the audience or whatever. But hey, I'm just good at doing what I do. And I just keep it going because that's really all I know. And I'm not comfortable doing it any other way.
Do you ever feel like when it comes to like when products come in or like tech news hits, do you ever feel like, damn, I need to go make a video right now about this? Or do you do it within your own time? Because I know like with content, people's attention spans being so short nowadays, it's like tech news or just in general, gaming news or whatever, it's literally hot for like the first 24 to 48 hours and then like cools off. Do you ever feel that pressure? I fight that all the time. I'm like, oh God, okay, do I need to do this? Do I have to? Do I feel like it? Am I gonna sound robotic? So
That's tough, man. Sometimes it has gotten me to where I just need to jump up and turn the camera on because it's a hot news. And if I catch something where I feel like, let's say if I looked on my phone right now and I saw kind of a story about something, if I Google it or I should say YouTube it, I want to see if somebody else has covered this content yet. If the answer is no, I'm gonna jump on that because I can be first, right? I can get the most views out of that. But then a lot of times I look and it's like, okay, it's the hot topic right now. I'm gonna let y'all have that one, man, because I got other videos I got to make that are already stressing me out. I don't need this too.
yeah, okay, okay. And like on an average week, like how much are you having to like plan out like videos and get everything situated? Because I know you constantly be reviewing various tech. Does it ever feel like overwhelming, or do you got a system in place where it comes in, boom, B-roll, let's go ahead and hit record and get this video done?
So you're kind of exposing me right now because I really don't have my life together. I really don't, bro. It seems like it because we put out content, it looks all polished and everything. But seriously, I do not have my life and affairs in order. Um, Typically on maybe Sunday morning, Monday morning, I might pull out my little pad and just kind of start jotting down some ideas and try to plan out at least the next few days. I try to
Mhm.
go out a month, but that's so hard.
Yeah.
And I'll pull it together. And then, like, if it's a video where I feel like I'm going to need a bunch of B-roll shots, sometimes I'll come in and just shoot a bunch of B-roll. And I just kind of, I don't know. A lot of times, man, I feel like um, it's kind of like, imagine this. You ever been
Okay.
on a public transportation, like a city bus or something, a
Mhm.
train? You know how like when the doors on the train, like at the airport, the doors on the train close and you haven't really grabbed that pole yet or sat
Yeah.
down and it just goes, they close and you like, I know I should be sitting down and then it takes off and then you're like, whoa, that's what my life is like. I'm going, whoa, all the time. I'm holding on to the pole, so I didn't quite fall, but I'm holding on. And that's pretty much what it is week to week for me.
Man, I fully relate to that. I thought it was just me feeling like that because I'm trying to do all this stuff around because I got my youngest is 2.5. She
Mhm.
running around doing whatever she doing, and then I got my two teenagers, and they drive me up the wall, and I'm trying to manage that, home life, married life.
Whoa, whoa, let's back up. How many kids? 2?
I've got 3. So I've got 2
3 kids?
teenagers, 12 and 13, and then I got a 2-year-old.
Dude, you are in the trenches, like knee deep into the parenting trenches. Dude, you got a 13-year-old kid, boy or girl?
All girls.
Oh God.
Yeah, and they want and
This is
the 2 older ones, they're like, "Can we date?" "No, you can't date till you get married. You can't marry till you start dating." They're like, "How does that work?" "It don't work. Stop thinking about it. It ain't happening."
Oh man, dude, seriously, you're in the trenches, especially with 3 girls at those particular ages, and then the little one driving you crazy like a little chihuahua running around the house,
Yeah, she
probably.
right there.
Oh man. So what do they think about what dad does?
Um, so the older two, they're kind of embarrassed by it because like their friends' parents are like either police or doctors or military and whatnot, and then they're like, "So what does your dad do?" "Oh, he plays on the internet," and I'm like, "No, I make professional videos. I'm a videographer." Like, come on, put some respect on it. They're like,
Right?
"Dad, you hit record and that's it." I'm like, "No, it's not." I'm like, "You
Yeah.
sound like one of them haters out there." Well,
Yeah.
whatever, Dad.
That's crazy. You know what's interesting about that? Like your kids, they're really close to you, right? So they think everything you do is kind of stupid.
Yeah.
But their friends, however, probably think you're just the coolest thing ever. Like, I wish my dad could be like yours. While the kid who actually has that dad, they're like, oh man, dad is stupid. Let me just not let him outside the house. That's how my son was. Oh
So,
man.
my older kids, their friends will come over. They're like, "Oh, I need a webcam or I need a mic." I'm like, "Here you go, here you go. I can either sell it or give it away." I'm like, "I got all this. Here you go. There you go.
Mhm.
I don't need it."
You're the cool dad. It is what it is.
Except for to my own kids. Everyone else think I'm cool. I'm like, okay, I'll take a W when I can take it.
It just comes with it, man. Your kids will never look at you that way until at some point they become adults and they're like, "Man, my dad's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah,
I
I know,
think I like
right?
him." All right. When they're 28 years old, right? My boy,
uh,
he's 22. He just graduated in May, and I had a conversation with him just before graduation, like 2 days before graduation. And one
mhm,
thing that kind of sticks with me is the way his voice sounded when he said, "I don't know how you did it, Dad. Like you were 22, or I was 20 when I had him, and I was
mhm,
22 when I got out of the Marine Corps, and I had at the time a wife, him, and a stepson." And he was just thinking to himself, like, because he's about to start life for real, having to work and everything, and he's overwhelmed with the simplicities of his young life. What I
mhm.
would call simplicities, you know. And he was like, "I don't know how you did it. I don't know how you still do it, but man." And that's when I felt like he's always respected me, but that's when I think he got it. Like, oh man, dad
Mhm.
has been killing it this whole time.
Isn't it interesting, like, when you really look at the perspective of, like, the younger generation and, like, our kids and such from, like, when we grew up, like, life's so different, and, like, things that they find to be, like, overwhelming, we can look at it and be like, "Okay, you could probably proceed this way," but
Mhm.
it's fascinating sitting back and letting them figure it out on their own. And like when they need help or they need guidance, okay, you can come to me, I can give you some pointers, but ultimately this is your journey.
Mhm.
And it's to me like it's fascinating to watch it.
It really is. It really is. And that brings up a good point, especially with child rearing. Like, all right, your teenage girls, they are at the stage in life, and it's just really the beginning where they're going to be experiencing a lot of things for the first time. I remember my
Yeah.
son, my wife, she'd be ready to just grab him by his throat and just toss him. And I'm like, hey, put your hand down. Like he don't know how to deal with this. This is his
Yeah.
first time dealing with this emotion or this thing that happened. You and I think it's stupid because we've dealt with it and we figured out we have the tools to deal with it mentally and physically. For him, it's the very first time. So he's panicking. He's in panic mode. He doesn't have the tools. So it's been plenty of I've saved his life. So, son, if you watching this podcast, you owe me your life because I would choked you out several times by now. One for me pulling her back.
Oh man, what do you think also about like this generation and like social media and how much that's I feel like both positively and negatively impacted the younger generation. Like social media addiction is I feel is really bad because even with my teenagers, like they're always on their phones now, and I'm like, "You want to go outside? Do y'all want to go somewhere? Y'all want to get the hell up out of the house?" Just kidding. I'm just saying, like mom and I would like some alone time, so
Right. Yeah. So the question is, how do I feel like it's really impacted the youth, good or
yeah,
bad?
Yeah.
I think let's talk about the good first.
Okay.
I think there's so much more opportunity for the youth to learn. One,
Mhm.
like seriously, there was some things like when I was doing my homework, I would ask my mom or my auntie, like, to help me with a math problem. You've been through this, and they tell you, and then it's all wrong the next day.
Yeah.
You got an F on your homework because your mama helped you. So there's opportunity for a lot of growth in education on the internet. It's just out there, right? And then there's a lot of opportunity to explore because
Mhm.
I I I was I was 18 when I joined the military. And
Mhm.
in order for me to leave Austin, I had to join the military because prior to that, I hadn't been anywhere, hadn't really seen much of anything. And the best we could do back then was Encyclopedia Britannica.
Yep.
So there's a lot of opportunity there, man. And as you grow up, as far as being a teenager or, going into adult life, there's so much more opportunity to earn money, earn an income. Being an influencer is the tip of the iceberg. There's so much money now to be made via the internet. Seriously, everything can like so much money on the internet. But there's also a negative side of that if you want to get into it. But to go to the negative side of things, yeah, social media addiction is a real thing. And I don't know how to mitigate it. I don't have any answers for that, but I will tell you that we were not ready for the internet when it came to be. We still ain't really prepared for it. And the
Yeah.
internet's been around since at least, like Facebook internet. It's been around since '07, and we're still in the whoa phase. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
still just running on its own legs, and we really haven't caught up to it. So yeah, people are addicted, that dopamine that you get from the likes. And then if you get some dislikes or don't get any engagement, it really does affect your mood for the day. Hell, there's couples who are in full-fledged relationships who don't really talk to each other. They'll be in the same room, same bed, same whatever, and both of them be on their phone scrolling. I can't
Mhm.
even tell you how many memes I've seen where uh it'll be like this husband says, yeah, my wife said she was tired, too tired to play around. She's going to sleep. And then I'm in the next room. I'm getting TikToks sent to me. You know what I mean? Like she's on TikTok, but she ain't, she said she was tired, but I'm getting these TikTok videos. It's because my wife would rather be on social media than playing with me. You know what I'm saying? So
Yo,
yeah,
that's bad. You
but
doing something wrong.
it's real, bro. It's real. It's happening, man. And people are really in love with the internet. They don't know how to detach, and it's just a terrible thing. So there's a lot of pros and definitely a lot of cons. We just got to figure out how to navigate this thing somehow, even though we're as deep into it as we are.
Yeah. But, touching on what you were saying about like the opportunities to make money now, like I really feel like okay, so I had this conversation with a friend 2 days ago. So she works as and I forget what position she is at this company, but she like works at this dental company. And so she was saying like, I wish there were ways for me to make more money because I'm tired of living paycheck to paycheck. And I'm like, there's so many ways. Like you could do so much stuff. She's like, well, I don't know if I could do YouTube. I'm like, you ain't got to do YouTube. There's just so many things you can work from home. You could, get a coffee or a Patreon or something and make crafts and art or, make music, do all kinds of stuff. Like I feel like there's way more ways to make money now than before. Like,
Absolutely, man. You used to have to go out and labor or sit at a cubicle to earn an income. Now, it doesn't have to be a full-fledged, full-time income, but there's so many side gigs you could do. I mean, and $500 a month is life-changing money for a lot of people. Like it can really steer you in one direction or the other, $500
mhm,
extra per month. So to be able to make that on the internet just by doing damn near anything, I think that we're at a phenomenal place, man. And I think the pandemic, I saw this TikTok yesterday. This dude was talking about how he missed the pandemic. Now I know a lot of people, were hurt during the pandemic that full 2 years, but he was just talking about things that he missed. It seemed like we kind of went back to the 80s. It was a simpler time, you know what I mean?
mhm.
It was quiet. For the most part, it was kind of quiet, right? But it made me think about like the income earning opportunities. A lot of them showed up during the pandemic. We have the pandemic to thank for a lot of things. As much terrible things came with it. We have a lot of things to be grateful for that spawned from the pandemic too.
Yeah. And that was actually something I was talking about with my friend yesterday when we were podcasting. I was saying, that pandemic opened a lot of people's eyes to the opportunities that are out there.
Mhm.
As an example, my wife at the company she was with for over a decade, they let her go and the whole team out here and just closed up shop in Hawaii completely. And
Mm.
so she was down about that. And I'm like, hey, you do all this arts and crafts stuff and all this other, art and whatnot. Let's start streaming, start putting stuff up, on Etsy and stuff like that. She started doing that, started making a gain load of money. I'm like, hey, this might be a full-time career. She's like, nah, I want something more stable. I'm like, but you're making more money doing this. Do this.
Yeah.
Don't they could let you go again. Just do this. And she's like, no, I do both. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And it becomes a side gig. And when you say side gig, it makes me think of the term side hustle. Man, I used to have this mixed relationship with the word hustle because I've always been a hustler, but hustler
Mm-hmm.
used to have this negative connotation to it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then it wasn't until I don't know, maybe 2016 is where it was like hustle became a cool buzzword. But
Yeah.
yeah, so and it's even still to this day, part of my logo is hustle hard, stay humble.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that's pretty much a mantra right there, right? And where was I going with this? I got sidetracked. I need some coffee or something. What was Man, that just went dude. If I know it's a totally off topic, but you know how like some people say, "Man, I wish I can get in your head." I'm like, no, you don't. It's a lot going on. You know what the inside of my head looks like? You remember the Michael Jackson album cover? Which one was it? I think it was the one with Remember the Time. Remember that album
Yeah.
cover with the carnival? And
Yeah.
all the stuff on it,
Yeah.
the roller coaster, a bunch of random shit. Just that's what's going on inside of here, man. I'm trying to tell you, man, I look like I have it together. You see these videos, they are edited. Okay. There was time and effort that went into making me look good. It is not okay around here. This is freaking chaos. Oh man.
That's why I like when you have situations where someone's like, what's on your mind right now? You don't want to know.
Yeah, you don't need to know. It's dark in there, bro. What's going on? Oh man.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
but as far as the social media thing goes, man, I'm sorry. I don't know. Is my screen going black?
No.
Okay, my screens keep just kind of going black, so just making sure it's not messing up nothing. But as far as the social media thing goes, man, it's definitely a blessing and a curse. The money making aspect of it, the education that we can get from. I mean, look what Zuckerberg is doing with this metaverse stuff and like the Apple goggles. Is that the right name? I don't know what it's called, but look
I
what they're
forget the
doing
name
on
of
the
it.
education
Yeah.
side. There are people who have not gone anywhere who can now go somewhere because of, technology and the internet.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah. Um, Speaking of that, the the now I'm not sure if you ever had to deal with this on the content creator side, but like I've noticed particularly so I guess I'm kind of slotted in the gaming creator scene. Like
Mhm.
I enjoy gaming, I enjoy it casually, and I get a lot of flack because people like, let me look at your achievement, your Xbox achievements or your PlayStation trophies. I'm like, I don't care about that. I pick a game up, I play it, and I'm done with it. I go on with it. But because like I do review stuff like games, text, and such like that. I've when I interact with other people who are in the gaming sphere, it becomes a whole thing about just talking about metrics, talking about follower count, and talking about this, and like them always promoting and bragging on social media about their follower count and all this, and this. And I'm just like, how do you have this much time to be on social media talking about this? Like,
Mhm.
are you trying to compensate for some, or like I don't mind like celebrating the W, but I'm like, your whole your whole thread for like the last 24 hours is just about how great you are. I'm like, what's going on? You want to talk?
I've seen like that. I've think seen things like that, and it really is a turn off for me because I'm a lot like you. Like Yes, I get paid from YouTube. I earn a living for it. Do it like that's my sole source of income is creator content stuff, right? Social media work. But at the end of the day, I do these videos with still a raw love and joy for the game, so to speak. You know how they say the athletes still play for the love of the game, it's not the money.
Yeah.
There's a big part of me that still has that. Like I like turning on the camera and taking just the just some footage and then you put it on a computer screen, manipulate it, and it turns into this, and people want to watch it. Just the
Yeah.
elements of that. I remember my friend Eric, DBZ Media. I think you know him.
Yeah.
Uh,
Dookie. Yeah.
okay, that's how we met. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I remember one time he said the audacity of the creator. And I was like, what do you mean the audacity of the creator? He said, dude, the audacity of someone to take a camera, turn it on, and put themselves in front of it, knowing that you ain't nobody to nobody. You know what I mean? You just putting it out on the internet. You create it, you make it, you polish it up to what you want. This is your baby, and then you put it on the internet. And he said, the audacity of the creator to have good vibes on the back of the wall. You know, like you can make your own landscape, your own background. Like it's creator. Like I
Yeah.
still love that part of it. Like the metrics, yeah, you need them, you know, to quantify your value. If somebody's going to pay you to do some work for them or something like that, you do need them, a follower count, view counts, and stuff like that. But for me, and this could be to my own detriment sometimes, but the audacity of the creator and the love of the game is why I still turn on the camera because I can get paid doing anything, right? But man, I really love doing this stuff. I really do.
Yeah. Do you okay, so with the various platforms out right now outside of YouTube, like do you feel overwhelmed every time like there's like this a new platform popping up? So you got your TikTok that jumped
Right.
off. I feel like I'm behind on that one. And then Instagram was pushing the reels, and then now they got what is it, Instagram Meet or something like that? That their Twitter competitor. And you got
Instagram.
Blue Sky. Isn't it some Instagram something like this? It's supposed to be like whatchamacallit, Twitter, and then you got Blue Sky social media, and man, I feel like I can't keep up half the time.
Dude, you
I
have
like
mentioned at least two. I'm thinking three social media platforms I don't even know nothing about. So to answer your question, yes, it's very overwhelming. And you actually made me feel good about myself because I'm on TikTok, right? You said
Mhm.
you still behind. I thought I was behind, and then you told me you was behind. So that makes me feel better because I'm better than you because I'm on TikTok. Because I've been doing this. I mean, I was one of those people who were very reluctant and almost like I just did not want to be on TikTok because it was just another platform. Like, I don't want to do the next thing or a new thing. Like, I'm barely getting the swing of this other thing that I'm on. And
Mhm.
then, once I get the swing of TikTok, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a talk tick that shows up somewhere, something else, right? It's always going to be something else. And here's what I say to that. I had to kind of convince myself, yes, you do need to be on a set amount of platforms. And if you can multi-purpose content, like I'm
Mhm.
glad we're in the space, like there's a lot of platforms, but the good thing is you can multi-use your content. If it's in
Mhm.
vertical form, you got shorts, reels, I guess YouTube, I'm sorry, Facebook is reels as well. And
Mhm.
then you got TikTok. So you can make one vertical video, plaster it all over the place.
Yep.
That's great. But at the end of the day, I like to use the Super Mario Brothers analogy. I kind of just came up with this. There's a couple different kinds of people in this world, right? When it comes to getting money and stuff, there's the Mario player who plays Mario for the sport of it. And you go through, you get them coins, right? You get a few of them, ding, ding, ding. And you get a few Koopa Troopers and you just bash up some stuff, but you're trying to get to that flag and then defeat Bowser as fast as possible. You just blazing through it, right?
Mhm.
And then there's and you might die a few times. I don't know, it just depends on how skilled you are. But then there's the player who tries to get every single coin out there. This person's going to take forever to get to this game and might not ever get to the flag because they have died so many times trying to get that coin that's up there in that little corner. And all you hear is doop, 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 doop. It's because you're trying to get all the coins. It's not necessary to get all the coins in order to win the game, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, well, that's true. It yeah, like I I look at it and I'm like you were saying, like you can make short form content, you can put it everywhere. And it's like I've seen creators say that they don't want to do the short form because there's no gain from it. But
Mhm.
I'm like, it allows you to capture an audience that may not have the time to sit and look at your full video. But at the same time, it also could, if they like what they see from that short, they're like, hey, I want to check out this. This cat probably got some really dope stuff. Let me go check it out.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity. And I feel like the biggest thing with content creating, so many people can, we all fall victim of it, is like getting complacent. You can never get complacent or stay doing what you're doing, like, or you can keep doing what you're doing but always improve on it, rather. And it's you can't be afraid of trying something new,
Yeah.
I
I
would say.
I totally agree with you. And that's where I was with the whole TikTok thing. I mean, it was already going in full force. Some people had already created an empire on TikTok, and I was that guy who was being complacent. YouTube was working out, Instagram was just okay. And I was like, I don't want to do the next thing. And at some point, I thought to myself, look, if you want to grow, you got to move a little bit, got to keep your feet
Mhm.
moving. Something new pops up, you ain't got to do it. But if you did it, would it hurt you or would it help you? So you got to make your assessments, call your audibles as you need them.
Yeah. Do you, when with the editing process, like what kind of software do you use, and do you enjoy editing or is it like time consuming? So I have a love hate relationship with Premiere. I'm like,
Right
all right, I'm almost done. And it's like, crash, you son of a bitch.
there. Yeah. Oh yeah, man. I have like a twitch. Like, I'll be editing. I do enjoy editing, but like you said, it's a love-hating relationship because sometimes it is very time consuming and you just drone out. But then I got like this little twitch where I edit, save. And it's like it's almost like panic mode because it has crashed on me before. And I'm like, oh shit, did I save? Click. Okay.
Right.
You know? So yeah, it's I really do enjoy the process of editing
Hmm.
because that's the creating part, right? I get to record myself on camera or some things on camera, right? And it looks one way. And if you just play it, it looks just like that. But with the magic of editing, I don't know, you can just throw any element in there. You can help tell your story with some B-roll, all kinds of stuff, man. And it's like creating little short movies.
Yeah. How does it feel being over 100,000 subscribers? Like that's got to feel monumental. I know you got the YouTube play button. Like, was that how big of a milestone was that for you?
Oh man, that was a interesting period of time. So when I was almost there, I was like, "Oh crap, it's coming! I can feel it." And the little ticker, like it was like one subscriber would come like every. It felt like every like couple of hours, right? And I was like, "Man, will it just hurry up and get here?" But then at
Hmm.
some point, I was thinking, like, "Okay, what happens after that? Like, is there going to be confetti falling out of the sky? Is somebody going to bring a big check? You know what I mean? Like one of them big paper checks." Like seriously, what happens once you hit the 100K? I obsessed with that number for a long time, and I had to determine what does it mean to you? Yes, it's a milestone. Yes, you get the plaque, and it's all great. But then the next day, and my wife like celebrated harder than I did. Have you seen those things where like somebody has a birthday, they put it in your yard? It says happy birthday, real big and tall. You
Hmm.
know what I'm talking about? She got me
Yeah.
one of those. It said, "Congratulations, 100,000 subscribers." Like my whole neighborhood knew I hit 100. My wife is freaking awesome, man. She did that for me and it made it so special. But seriously, the next day it was like, all right, I gotta make another video. And I was like, damn, it's gone. It's just literally like I was at 100,001. I was like, well, that's over. And it's not that it didn't mean anything. It's just that it literally is just a number. And I think after that, that whole rush went away and it was just like, well, I don't know, it's gone. But for those who are trying to reach it, you're gonna get there someday. Just keep making videos. It's inevitable. Somebody's gonna like your stuff and they're gonna come back and watch it again and then invite some friends. It's coming, but don't obsess over it, or you'll wake up one day and be like, damn, that happened. Gotta go make some more videos. Yeah, man. I really did obsess over that. And for all the wrong reasons too. For all the wrong reasons.
It's I feel like because that's one of my goals. Like I want to try and hit that by the end of the year. If not, if I don't hit it by the end of the year, I'm gonna keep pushing for it. But I felt that way trying to get my first 100 subscribers, trying to get my first 1,000, and then first 10,000. Then like it you can get obsessed with it, and then you're right, like it hits you once you hit that milestone. You're like, all right, well, shit, it's time to make
Tell
another
about
video.
it.
Let's
There's no
go.
confetti. Where's the confetti, man?
Like, yeah, hit me with it.
Yeah, man. I was expecting a trophy, like, like at the end of the finals or something, Golly. And that's when I kind of just fell back to, why I started doing this in the first place. One, it was a paycheck because I saw when I first did my first couple of videos, I earned like $1.43, 43 cents. And I was like, all right, if I can do $1.43, I can do 143 and so forth and so forth. So yes, it was the income and the possibilities of it. But the second thing was I really enjoy the game. I like creating content.
Okay. Do you feel like it's sustainable? Like I've had people say that they don't think content creating is sustainable, but I'm like, you can say that about anything. It's about what you put into it.
hmm I think about this at least a couple of times a week because, people are getting laid off all the time.
Mhm.
Excuse me. Companies are closing their doors all the time. And what happens if Google decides to just snatch it all up, stop paying people? Yeah, you're right. Anything could end. You ride it until the wheels fall off. Because
Yeah.
a lot of people, the same person that could say that, like, okay, what if Google snatches everything up? They're working as an insurance agent, right? Well, yeah. Well,
Mhm.
what if insurance ain't a thing no more? You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
what happens when the housing market crashes? Or I don't know. Nothing is forever. So when you got something good going, you ride it till the wheels fall off. And if there's a backup plan or something you're doing on the side, and what you should always even have a side gig for your side gig. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's just my attitude about it.
I also think, touching back on the hustler mentality, I think that's a generational thing where like for us coming up, you kind of
Mm.
had to have a hustle and a side hustle. That was just one of the things that, it was just ingrained into us. That I'm not saying that the younger generation doesn't have it, but they don't understand it the way we would, I would say.
Hmm.
I could be wrong if I'm wrong.
I think that's a good man. So for us, when you say the hustle mentality, yes, it did exist, right? But I think for us, how old are you?
I'm 36.
All right, so we're about the same age. For us coming up, it was still the one job, right? You get
Yeah.
yourself, you maybe go to college, get yourself a job, and you maybe get a government job, work for the post office or something, and retire. That mentality
Hmm.
still exists for a lot of people our age and older, of course. But I think because of what I described about the internet a few minutes ago, I think the younger generation is quite the opposite, actually. I think they're like, they don't have to stick around for nothing. Like they're just here working this job until something better comes up. Like today's generation, and when I say today's generation, I'm not talking about a demographic of like age groups. I'm talking about people in general of
Hmm.
today. If you look at somebody's resume, you will see like 4 or 5 jobs within the last 3 years. And
Hmm.
it's cool. If this place is gonna pay you more, go. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? What the hell you being loyal for? Because they gonna fire your ass as soon as they get the chance.
They will.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with exactly what you said, but I feel like in our generation, yeah, one job forever, retire, and
Yeah.
maybe have a backup plan. I don't know. Most likely not. A lot of them cats did. But in today's world, I think a lot of people are, like seeing that you do need a side hustle for your side hustle, and that you don't, or you probably even shouldn't, commit your entire life and existence to a company and work somewhere.
And I guess we could add on to that too is I feel like the concept of you get one, you go to school, you get an education, get this job, work for X amount of years, retire, and like that's what you're doing. That's what your life is meant to do. I can also see with this generation now, they're constantly questioning, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try that. I might like this. I might, and they, to give them credit, they understand the fluidity of like life and how things just don't stay the same. Things change, and I can say they probably have a better grasp of it than most of the older generation.
It's because it's happening while they're young. While you're
Yeah.
young, you're more adaptable, more resilient. And when you get old, your bones get a little rickety. So you're like trying to just settle down a little bit. I don't
Yeah,
need
I
too
got
much emotion. I don't want to learn nothing new.
yo. I don't know if you're the same way, but I'm at an age now where I'm like, I get mad if I go in the store and they move something. I'm like, how dare they? Like, what? The bread was why is the bread on the other side of the store? Man, I'm mad. I'm like, call your manager. Let me
Uh,
complain.
I have had full-blown episodes in Walmart over them moving freaking like ketchup. Oh man, you have really scratched a nerve right now, man. I have had full-blown episodes in the store. As a matter of fact, I was talking to this lady this morning on the phone, and she was talking about, oh, we have this place here called the Turkey Hut. It's a real famous place in Houston, and
Mm,
I will not go because there's always a line. First of all, it's not close to my house, so I'm definitely not going to drive that far to go wait in line. It's always wrapped
mhm.
around the place. And she was telling me about this place, how she went. I was like, man, you're from out of town and you went there. I can't go because of the lines. And she's like, what do you mean? I said, I don't wait in lines. I'm too old for this. I told her about this one experience. I was in a grocery store. Me and my wife, we went through the grocery store, had our basket. It wasn't like first of the month type of shopping, but we had enough stuff in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we get there and I see the lines like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're all just backed up. And I scan the area and I'm like, I'm starting to boil on the inside, like old man rage, like what the hell? Why are so many people here? And then I looked at all the cashiers and the employees, what they were doing, and I was just like, I'm not gonna do this. I'm leaving. Put the cart right there. She's like, what? I was like, we're leaving. We're gonna go drive to the next store. So she was like flabbergasted. She didn't know what to do. I was like, I'm not waiting in line. No. I had a full episode, bro. We get in the car, we drive to another store down the street. And granted, by the time we got to that store, I probably would have been done checking out at the current store, but it was just the
Mhm.
principle of it, man. You're looking at me like I'm crazy. It was a moment. I had an episode. I could not be in that place waiting in line. I do not like to wait in line, bro.
No,
Oh man.
I have no patience for it. I have none at all. Like I'm just because I'm like, yeah, you go to these stores or you go to like, okay, what's this? We got this spot out here. It's called Rainbow Drive-Ins. If you ever come to Hawaii, if you ever go to come here to Honolulu,
Mhm.
best spot to go, Rainbow's Drive-In. Anyone
Okay.
would tell you to go there. I love going because it's down the street from because my condo's here in Waikiki, so it's like right down the street. So
Mhm.
whenever we want to go eat there, most of the time I'm like, let's either go early, let's go late. If we got to go during the day and people just come straight from the beach and they're there, I'm like, hell no, I ain't waiting. Look, I'm from South Memphis, man. I just ain't got time for that. So I'm just saying.
Man. I don't know
So
if it's just certain personalities or our old age, but yeah, I don't know.
anyway,
Okay, here's a question.
okay.
Do you put your family on social media or in your videos or anything?
I'll occasionally. So my teenagers, no.
Mhm.
Um, I don't do that. But my youngest occasionally, like if I take a picture with her or she pops up in some then that happens. But like my teenagers, no. My wife, she also does content creating, so she will do stuff together. Like we do anime reactions, or she'll have me watch Real Housewives. I only like one of those shows, just because I had to watch it for so damn long. But no, like as far as like my wife and I, like we'll do some crossover stuff, but for the most part, we kind of just do our own thing.
Gotcha. Well, it's a little bit different with y'all because y'all are both creators. So yeah, it makes sense, how she doesn't have a problem or you don't have a problem putting her on social media. I asked that question because every once in a while somebody will ask me like, hey, how come? Well, okay, somebody who doesn't know me, like someone who just watches and I don't know them, they'll say, hey, you should put your wife in more stuff, or you should put your son in more stuff, because they have made appearances, once or
Mhm.
twice here and there. But then there's people that I know that they're like, how come you never put your wife on social media? Like you're always, by yourself or whatever. Are you guys okay? Like, is your relationship okay? And I'm thinking to
Yo,
myself,
I get that too.
that's why we're okay, is because I don't put her on social media. Like the people who we're gonna have to touch on this whole thing with couples and social media, but
Go for
um,
it.
I don't put them on social media because they didn't ask for this. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
They did not set out to be YouTube stars or creators or famous for any reason. So if I put them on things that makes them vulnerable to comments,
Mhm.
security, all kinds of stuff. And being ex-military, I'm all about security. I might not be the best at the cybersecurity thing, but I don't want to be showing people, like they might not
Right.
want to be out there. They did not ask for this. That's just the bottom line. So, and people on the internet, they don't think you're human in the first place. So they just say what they want.
Right.
So if somebody's going to you know, come at me sideways, come at me sideways. I can take that. I'm a man.
Right.
I got heavy shoulders or big shoulders, but you're not going to be coming for these people back here, my family, because you'll get the horns after that.
Yeah.
And that's to protect them. But moving on to the whole couples and social media thing, that is a very interesting topic, man. I might hurt some people's feelings with what I would have to say, but maybe we shouldn't go there. I don't know.
I mean, ain't nothing off the table. I mean, if you don't want, we can edit stuff out. But
If I say it, I ain't gonna want to edit out. It's just I said what I said. You know what I'm saying? I just think that people as couples who are always posting their significant other, there's usually some type of insecurity there, man.
right.
Something is just not right. There's a casual post where you just happen to be together, you know what I'm saying? But you posting
Mhm.
this, oh my honey boo, this and all that. Come on, man. Ain't nobody buying that mess. Y'all got problems. Somebody cheated. Which one of y'all cheated? You
Oh,
just
my
trying to
wife.
claim him because his side piece was, whatever. I don't know, man. I'm just saying, people like that got freaking problems, and it's so, oh God. That's why I don't do Facebook, because of that kind of mess. I try to stay far away from the actual website of Facebook or the app. I use the creator side. So anytime you see me post on Facebook, it goes to my creator page, but
Mhm.
it's through Instagram because they're connected. I don't go to
Yeah.
directly to Facebook to post nothing. It's always, I gotta stay out. Every time I open the Facebook app, I'm like, but oh, close it, close it, close it. It's like the little girl from The Ring. It pops out at me. Like, oh God.
Yeah, okay. I was having that conversation with my wife last week because hell, I don't care. My sister does this all the time.
Mhm.
Her and her partner, I'm just gonna say partner. They always post about, sis, I love you. If you see this or you hear this, ain't no shade, but a shade. but
Maybe
it's
we shouldn't say this. I mean,
no,
I'm just maybe we shouldn't say this.
she don't watch my shit no way, so it's fine.
Okay.
But like, like, okay, well, okay, just like, so when folks post stuff all the time about how much they love their partner and all this, like here and there, okay, it's fine, I get it. But when it's like every day and you're just praising them like they some type of Greek god or goddess, I'm like, yo, something ain't right about that.
Mhm.
It's crazy. I get people all the time, and I don't know if my wife gets it frequently, but like my social media across the board is just Mekel Kasanova. Like you ain't gonna look me up by my real name. Well,
That's
real
not your real
last
name?
name. Well, Casanova's not. First name is real, but
Oh
last
man,
name.
I'm so disappointed. I thought Casanova was your last name, man. I was thinking to myself, that's the coolest freaking last name ever on the planet. I'm hurt. I am so hurt. Oh man, I
my
feel like, oh man, you shouldn't have
no,
told me that.
my well, I mean, well, I guess like if we go back a generation or two, that's my grandpa, one of my great grandpa's last name, but
Okay,
no,
well, this is somebody's name. It's
it's a legit name. I just decided to run with it, which
I
was my
still got
wife's
love for you,
idea.
man. It sounds good though. I love it. I freaking love it.
I get made fun of. Some people like, oh, so you a Casanova? I'm like, yo, it's just a stage name. I don't want you looking up. And that's the whole reason I did that, because I have a background in InfoSec, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want nobody looking up my real name, information, none of that.
Mhm.
But people frequently, because I brand it across the board, and the main thing you're gonna see is just me. Like I don't show my relationship status and nothing like that. I frequently have people, especially out here and other folks I know, always like, "Is everything good with you and your wife? Like, are you guys okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why? You don't ever post, so it just seems like you're trying to be single." I'm like, "I ain't do. What am I gonna do? I'm at home with this, yeah, with you all day." The little toddler she right over there. I'm her with her all day. What? How am I gonna be out in these streets?
Right.
Doing what? Doing what?
Yeah.
With a diaper bag?
Here's the crazy thing with like with that kind of stuff. Half the time it'd be my wife taking the picture. Like it's me by myself because she's taking a picture of me, and people be thinking, "What's wrong? How come she's not in your pictures?" Because she was taking it. Who else gonna take this picture? She knew I put this on the internet. She took the picture. Oh man.
No, it's just one of those things. Like I try to. So like in my wife and I, our younger years and in the beginning of our relationship, we used to have a lot of people in, family, friends, and we quickly realized that's detrimental to your relationship when you
Social
got
media?
social media and having too many people involved. So like we pulled out, like we just don't discuss our relationship with nobody. And people like, are y'all okay? We good. I see her every
Yep.
day.
We're all good for it. I think and I actually had to kind of excuse me, in a lot of ways teach my wife this, that our relationship is ours. Okay.
Mhm.
Like anytime anything goes outside of these four walls, it brings in problems. And that includes
Yeah.
your family, especially your dang family. Cause
Yeah.
especially on the man and woman side, like let's say you with a girl, let's say you're not married. Okay.
Mhm.
And you and your wife are dating. Y'all live together. You know, y'all get into a fight, you make her mad or whatever. She goes to tell her brother, or her uncle, or her daddy, or somebody, right? And then she comes back 2 days later, y'all all lovey-dovey, and the thing has blown over between you and her. Meanwhile, you
Mhm.
didn't make up with her daddy and her uncle. They looking at you sideways. You know, next time at the Sunday dinner, they like, oh yeah, we gonna get them boys. And you know, they don't realize that y'all made up. She loves you again. You know what I'm saying? And it just keeps building up and building up and building up
Mhm.
because you're gonna hurt our feelings again. You know what I'm saying? And it works both ways. You know, if you got some sisters or something, you know, they looking at her like, ugh, you know, all
Yep.
sideways and stuff. And y'all done made up. You love her. This is your woman. This is why y'all are still together. But to them, they still mad. And
No.
you know, it's always gonna cause problems.
I've been through that with my in-laws, like I want to say almost like a decade ago or so. And yeah, my mom still looks at me a certain way, and I'm like, I love you too, mom.
Yeah,
Get over it. Let it
they
go.
never get over it, man.
They don't.
And the crazy thing is, they going through worse problems than y'all had. Y'all done already made up, but their relationship is straight up hot trash in the back, and they worried about being mad at you. The audacity.
Right.
Oh, man.
This
Ain't it
this
funny how that
podcast,
works, man?
it is like, yeah, this podcast, we touched on just about everything. You weren't
Yeah, we done
expecting this
around
today,
the
were
block
you?
right now. What's that?
You weren't expecting this, were you?
No, I wasn't, man. And this is how my podcast used to go, man. It was just like there was you just talk, and whatever
Yep.
comes out, that's where the subject goes. And I
Yep.
like podcasts like this. That way, you know, you can just say what you gotta say. no matter how crazy it is, and then you just move on to the next subject.
Yep. Yep.
That's pretty much how my conversations go with my friend Sean, man. We'll start out. We always call each other with like a raging topic in mind because something triggered us and we had to talk about it and get it off our chest. But then it ends up going to some weird shit down a wormhole. Oh man. Like yesterday, I was real triggered by something my uncle said about me. I had a relative pass away, and
Mm.
you know how this kind of stuff works out. And I was just mad because I don't like feel like people are doing what I think they should be doing. And
Mhm.
he kind of brought up some feelings. So I called my friend Sean. And the first thing I said to Sean is like, Sean, you're my best friend. This is what I'm gonna need you to do. If I ever pass or I get taken out in an untimely fashion prematurely, I'm gonna need you to take care of my wife. Don't come over here trying to do my wife. I just need you to
Damn.
help my wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna make sure she's taken care of financially, but I need you to come over here and help my wife. Like, if one of the gutters is hanging from the house, hammer it back
Yeah.
in place. I got the tools in the garage. You know what I mean? Like, fix the faucet or something. Like, do help my wife. Let her know she's got, a network of friends and family standing behind her, ready to help somehow. It might not be money, but somebody's got her back. He was like,
Mhm.
man, where's all this coming from? I was like, just do it. If I die, help my wife. You my best friend, man. You can't be claiming you my best friend and you come over here, you hug my wife, and we have a good time and stuff. And then if I'm gone, like you never existed. It doesn't work like that. You are her like brother-in-law, pretty much. So help my wife if I pass. Because I was really hurt by what I think my family should be doing. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
it just bothered me. So I called him up, and that's how the conversation started. But then it ended with some weird stuff, man. Like we was talking about. It was real intense and focused at first, but then it spread out into all the weird stuff we talk about.
Oh man. Okay, so touching on that. Do you find it hard or easy to maintain like relationships with friends, like in real life friends, and then like friends that you've met through like this content creating journey? Because me personally, I think it's a delicate balance.
Mhm.
And it's like sometimes it gets to a point where we talk more to other creators who are our friends and associates than we do sometimes in real life folks. But how do you feel? Like, do you find it difficult or you juggle it real well?
Now this could get me in trouble. Um,
I'm sorry.
First of all, when it comes to me and friends, I feel like as you get older, your friend count gets lower.
Yeah.
By the time you're my age at 44, you are very lucky to have 3
You're
shovel friends.
44,
Yeah. Um,
sir. You lying.
yeah, I'm dead serious. I just had a birthday in May. I don't want to say it out loud again, but I'm 34.
He 34. He said 34 people. Just
34, yes. There
he
you
34.
That's it. That's it. Appreciate you, bro. But yeah, as you go up in age, like when you're in high school, you got 17 friends. Y'all are a crew, a clique, and then they just
Yeah.
start peeling off, through
Yeah.
college, military, whatever. They just start peeling off. You go through things, they peel off some more. And by the time you get my age, you should have 1. You're lucky to have 2. And man, you are truly blessed if you got 3 shovel guys. Do you know what a shovel guy is?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's that you do I need to I'm gonna explain it for the people in the back. A
Okay.
shovel friend is that one cat who or these cats, like if they saw you on the side of a freeway or on the side of the road at 10, 11 o'clock at night, digging a hole, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna are they gonna keep going? And go tell somebody you was digging a hole? Or are they going to show up and start asking a bunch of questions? And then you might have to make your decision then.
Mhm.
Or does this person already have another shovel in their trunk? And then they're like, hey man, you moving too slow. We got to dig this hole and get the hell out of here. So you are very, very fortunate if you have 1 shovel guy. Really, really fortunate if you have it up to 3. So when I say that because of friends. You got to be careful who you call your friend. There's
Yeah.
the ones you actually know personally, you grew up with, or y'all just, like somehow that relationship was forged through college, military, whatever, right? And that's Sean. He's just my guy. And then there's, people I've met through YouTube, which, there's a handful. Well, it's not even a full handful. It's like 3, right? That, I call them friends. And I was just telling this one guy, his name is Jeff. I met him at CES. And it's funny the timing of when I met him, because I just determined to myself, I'm done making new friends. I'm done, because people disappoint you. People suck sometimes. That's why I like my dog. He don't, I'll give him some treat. So I go to CES and he meets. We had kind of met before, just kind of a little bit, and I meet him in person, and we meet at like the first night I'm there, and somehow we just never separated. And I was like, man, I kind of like this cat. I hate it. I hate that I like him. I don't want to like him. You know what I mean? But I like him. I'm probably going to call him afterwards.
Yeah.
And sure enough, since CES, we have talked literally weekly, at least once, sometimes twice. And he is what I consider a new friend, because he's just cool and he's there. And it's not because of YouTube. That's just how we met. But we are cool because we are friends, not because of what I can do for him or what he can do for me. We just bond, we click.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people that I've met, and he's one of the 3 I'm talking about, but a lot of people I've run across who could have potentially been good friends, they just ended up being people who, oh man, I don't want to speak ill of anybody, but they just, I don't even know how to put it into words. It's just, some people are just not for you. Let's just put it that way. They're just not for you.
Right. Yeah, that's something I've definitely, on this journey, like I've gone through a lot of that, and I've really had to learn that. And I should have known this the whole time. I'm like, not everyone is your friend. Not everyone has your best interests at heart. But, I've had a lot of lessons with that. A lot of mistakes I've made, a lot of mistakes or poor choices other folks have made, and consequences with that. And it's just, you know, especially in this sphere of content, a lot of people, you just gotta be careful, observe. Like recently I got invited by Square Enix to the Final Fantasy 16 event. So I got to go to LA. They're like, yeah, you're invited. I'm like, okay, y'all paying for my flight, hotel, all that? No, you gotta pay for that. You say, oh, okay, cool. All right, well, all right, let me row a boat across the ocean and get to California. All right, we here. And so when I got there, a lot of the creator folks that were attending that I've known for a while, like I kind of, because you kind of know something's a little off when you're around people. You can read that, or if you can't, you probably need to start reading folks a little bit better. But I knew something was a little off when I was there, and then they were all like cliquish and like talking about, oh, I can do this if you do this for me, or what's your follower account? Let's be friends. How about shout out to you? And I saw a lot of that, young and old, and I'm just like, this ain't what I want to deal with. This ain't the type of people I want to rock with. And like some of the folks that I wouldn't have expected to be as cool as they are with me, because I casually talked to them. When I was at the event, I had a crappy time. And I'll be honest, Square Enix, y'all treated me like utter dog shit at that event.
Wow.
I spent over $1,000 to go to LA, didn't get to play the game, didn't get to meet the producer, didn't really get to talk to any of the voice cast, and I was VIP. I had a band that let me do nothing.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And then if y'all think sending me this jacket is compensation for $1,000, no. And the fact that they featured all the other folks that are in their clique on all their promotional stuff for the game. Sorry, that's just a little rant. I'm a little salty with Square Enix, but the other folks that I know, I had to get that one out there. But the other folks that I met that I know for PR from Microsoft and other companies that I've casually talked to, man, they took care of me. They were cool. Especially, I got to shout out my boy Floyd. He took care of me, and like in getting back to the spot I was staying at, taking me to other event, meeting other industry folks, just and that's my boy now. That's my boy. I've known him for years, and he took care of me, and I'm like, that's a cool cat. And I can't say that about a lot of other folks I've met. And I don't know where I was going with that. That rant came, and I was like, man, fuck Square Enix. It just But no, like, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely get what you're saying. And I experienced something similar at, this last CES.
Hmm.
And where I just started kind of seeing things from a bird's eye view. And I was like, I think I'm gonna take my ball and go home. I don't want to play this game with you guys. Like
Yeah.
this who is who, or I'm in this clique, you're in that clique kind of thing. The tech world, or even maybe just to broaden it out, the YouTube space is very cliquish. And
Yeah.
I've just never been that kind of guy. Like I'm just me. I'm not part of a clique. And
Yeah.
my identity is Antwan Richardson, not this clique or who I'm associated with or this person. I'm not a gatekeeping type of person. There's a lot of gatekeeping that goes on in the YouTube
Yeah.
community, i.e., or also the tech community. Not that guy either. So yeah, I just do me. And when I met Jeff that one time, I was like, all right, I think I can bring this guy in. I'm gonna close the door right after he gets in. I mean, nobody else is getting in. So you better not
Yeah.
try to be my friend, man.
Yeah, I'm
I
just
told
saying,
you.
you come to Hawaii,
Oh,
I'm taking care of you, bro.
oh man, so you gonna fuck around and be my friend, man. I don't like British still. I don't like this. What is this feeling I'm feeling? Oh my God.
It's too many. Like you wouldn't really even notice the amount of clicks that are in like the tech and even the gaming and all these spaces within content creating. If you're a casual viewer or someone who just likes watching YouTube videos, you probably won't. I mean, you could pick up on it. There are certain things you can find or see that would
Mm,
allude to it. But for the most part, a lot of people wouldn't realize how it really is. There's a lot, how we said in the beginning, a lot behind the camera you don't see. When you go to these events, a lot of things are very broad and in the open, and you can see it. You can see the clicks. You can see who's
yeah.
friends with who. You can see who's trying to get friends with somebody to get some. And I ain't judging nobody. You do what you do. I just don't have to be part of it. And
Mhm.
maybe that stifles growth because I'm not in with the clique. I noticed that. That's why I didn't get to do a damn thing when I was in LA.
But does it really stifle growth? It's debatable because, yeah, when you
True.
look at metrics like numbers, yeah, it could stifle growth. One could say that. But your personal growth is what's most important. It ain't about getting there, it's who you become in the process.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you stay true to yourself, doesn't matter, what that end result really was. I mean, you're still gonna get there, right? But who are you once you're there? It's kind of
Yeah.
like, the story of a guy who becomes a millionaire. If you step on everybody you meet in order to get there, you're gonna be lonely with your $1 million. You know what I'm saying? But if you show love and you respect people, you'll have a cult following pretty much by the time you get there because you've taken care of everybody on the way. You become a better person.
Yeah. So, one other thing I want to bring up, and I want to be completely respectful of your time, and I appreciate you taking time to do this with me.
No, I'm
I
good.
want
I'm good.
to, you should, okay. So, I want to ask you, like, do you feel in this sphere, like in the tech space and even the YouTube space, do you feel like there is, a lot of folks like a lot of brothers like you and I doing this? Like, do you feel like there's a lot of representation, or you think there are opportunities folks just need to hop on and take the wheel and run with it, or take the ball and run with it?
As far as representation, like I feel like man, it's kind of hard to say. I think it's there. I don't
Hmm.
see nothing to complain about because of what I see. And I've actually wondered this, man. It's funny you bring this up. I've wondered if Google/YouTube actually does like curate content based off of like your race or gender. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like, am I seeing black creators because I'm black? Because I see them. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
Hmm.
ooh, this guy's doing it too. You know what I'm saying? Is
Yeah.
everybody up in this room? But I wonder if I was a white guy, would I be seeing these same guys? I'm not sure. Google knows everything. They take numbers literally on
Yeah.
everything. So who knows? They could be curating this content to make me feel more inclusive or at home with what's on my feed. I have no idea. But as far as what I'm seeing, I think we're good. I think we got representation. Um, but there's always room, man. There's always
Yeah.
room for more. And that's where I get to this whole cliquish thing or this you do for me kind of thing or this gatekeeping thing. Dude, The internet is so big. There's room for everybody to do anything. Even if 10,000 people have already done it, guess what? They ain't got your version yet. And
That's
if you're
true.
trying to be like, if you are out there trying to be an MKBHD knockoff, no, we ain't got room for you. We got enough of that. We got him,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
First of all, we got him. He is the GOAT, right? And then we got 15 other guys trying to be like him. So we got them too. We don't need you doing that. You do you, because we need that. That's special.
Yeah. Trying to, as I've said to young folks that are interested in going into this, and they're like, "Oh, I want to be like such and such. I want to be." I'm like, you can draw inspiration, but you'll never be them. You'll only be you. And you got a story, you got perspective that somebody, maybe 10, 20, 100, thousands, 100,000, millions, somebody wants to hear it. So let your voice be heard. Don't try to be somebody, because you'll never be nothing more than a cheap knockoff of somebody else.
That's the bottom line right there. That is it. But speaking of inspiration, when I first got on YouTube, my first video, well, I think it was my first video, was a Flossie Carter style top-down camera that didn't want to show my face. I didn't want anybody to see who I was, even though I was already on the internet. I don't want nobody to know I'm doing this. So I didn't show my face in like the first two videos. It was like some phone cases for the Galaxy Note 7. And
you take me back, man. You take me back.
I did that whole setup for a few videos, and then I was like, this is boring. Like, I want to see more. I want to make content I would actually enjoy watching. I don't like watching this type of content. So I started doing more content, like showing my face and different stuff. And while the videos were still trash, they felt better to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, okay, well, I need to sound this way because I saw other people doing it, right? Because I'm thinking that's what everybody wants. And I felt like I was posing. I wasn't really, I was being myself, but at the same time, I was trying to do it like everybody else. And at some point I was like, man, screw this. I'm giving them me, because this is hard. This other thing I was doing, that is hard. Being me is easy. And then at some point it worked. The people liked it. And that's why I say they ain't seen your version yet. They might have seen it before. They let's say a set of headphones. They've seen these headphones in a video in 10 other videos, but they ain't seen your version yet. You give them the golden package and make them come back for another one.
Yeah. I mean, anytime it's like, when it comes to like audio tech, I go to your videos because I'm like, I can watch everybody else, and I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass. I'm being truthful. I look at your videos because it's like, I want to see somebody that actually can tell me how this is in real world usage. I want to see somebody who's actually excited, other than, oh guys, here's the spec sheet, and this is what this can do. This is what this can do. I'm like, am I actually going to use any of that? Come on now. Give me somebody that's real. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah. And you're bringing me to the whole thing where I don't even know how I started it or when the first time I ever did it was. There's this little segment I do where I got headphones or earbuds, and I'm like, I know you want to know the answer, but do they jam? No. I don't know how that ever came to be. I wish I could figure out the first time I ever said that on camera. Well, I swear to you, I think people specifically come to those videos just to see that particular segment, and then they leave. But it's cool because I'm pretty sure I'm the only one. I know there's a lot of YouTubers that do audio stuff, but I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that does that. And that's what I mean. I'm all tangled up in this thing. And that's what I mean. Give them the golden package. Like, give them something they can't get nowhere else. Just do you. It is what it is.
Yeah. So, with that being said, man, is that anything you wanna talk about? Anything you wanna leave the audience with? Any advice for the aspiring young folks out there?
Advice on what? I got so much. I got so much in this circus. Oh man,
the secret of life. Go ahead, give them that.
You know what? Okay, I'll tell you the secret of life, and you're gonna think I'm just full of it when I say this. Seriously, mind your own business. Like, I'm laughing right now, but I'm serious as a heart attack. Mind your own business. Like, when somebody else has a problem, if they come to you with it, only allow them to kind of like unpack on you so much. Have your boundaries and tell them, hey, that's enough. In the kind word, that's enough because now you're bringing me down. And that's when they come to you. But sometimes people go looking for it. They look for other people's business to get into. And that impacts your life as well. And it ages you, man. It really does. And you said when you looked at me like that and you was questioning, am I really 44? Yeah, I'm 44. I'm just
34
minding my
people.
own business. Like, I don't let nobody stress me out over nothing because it ain't got shit to do with me in the first place. What I'm gonna be stressed out over? How am I gonna be stressed out over some stuff that ain't got nothing to do with me? And it's just, I think that's it. That's the key to life. Mind your own business and drink water. Drink water. I know you weren't expecting this.
No,
I'm giving it to you, bro.
no, but
Mind your own business.
that's so true though. Okay, so I'm gonna say this: like, unless I go on Twitter and the rare time I go on Facebook, because I try to stay away from Facebook too. But like, that's the only time when I'm like, I go in there and then people outrage. I'm like, what happened? I'm like, wait, what? What y'all mad about?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't. And like, how do you not know? I'm not married to these social media platforms, and it's like even here with folks here, they'd be like, "Hey, you heard about that?" No, how didn't hear about it? Because I ain't focusing on nothing but me, my family. That's it.
Mind
Trying to
your
go
own.
to the beach because
It is
yo,
something special about that, man. Minding your own business on so many different levels.
yeah.
I see. Do you hear that? I sleep good at night. Give me some good sleep, bro, because I'll be minding my own business, man. I ain't stressed out about nobody else's problems. I got my own problems to worry about,
Yep.
And yeah, man, it's good, man. I'm just living my best life, bro. But I really do appreciate you having me on, man. I know it's been a long time coming, but to have someone invite you to be on their podcast, their show, their space, and give them or give you their time, however you say it, I don't even know how to say it, but I appreciate it. And it's an honor for real.
Nah, man, it's an honor having you on. Big fan, and love your content, love your energy, man. That's the thing that's really. I want to say this again, like not blowing smoke up your ass, but like I really vibe with you because you come off like a very genuine person, and you are. I'm not saying you're not. You are. Talking to you,
I got it.
I feel that realness that I don't get from a lot of other people, and like with a lot of the content that I see, you see so many people. Because I understand you get clicks by being negative, everything like that, but I see how positive and how energetic and vibrant you are in your content. That inspires me. And that's something that I've started doing for the last several years of my content. I'm rarely ever negative, and people are like, "You're too positive." I ain't got shit to be mad about.
There you go. You want me to be mad on purpose?
Man,
That
they're
takes
like,
energy.
"Oh, you should be mad about this tech." Why? If I don't like it, I'm not gonna buy it. Or if I don't want,
Yeah.
like, I, and I feel like we vibe like that, and I appreciate that. Like, not enough people are doing that, and I appreciate you for sticking true to who you are and just doing your thing, man. It's inspiring. I just want to let you know that.
Man, I appreciate that, man. I like the things that people are noticing that you don't even like. There's always somebody watching is basically what that means. So I appreciate you checking that out and noticing that because that's just something that I do. And I think more people, you're right, more people should do it, but they have to tap into that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know what? To kind of tap into that a little bit, do you have to go? Because I really want to share this. If
No,
you end
no,
up making this a clip, that's fine.
no.
But I
You good.
really
You
do
good.
think people should read more. And I ain't talking about
Yes.
Harry Potter. I'm talking about self-help books. You know what I mean? I'm talking about the stuff that helps you work on who you are.
Yeah.
One of the books, I have like a series of maybe 5 books that I've just keep going back to over and over again throughout life. Like, and there's this one that I go back to every year at least twice. It's called
Mm,
Chop Wood, Carry Water by Joshua Metcalf.
mm,
And I won't get into the story, but every chapter in this book, it's only 100 pages. Easy read for especially for a guy like me. I'm not smart. So
this is lies, people.
super easy read. It's 100 pages, but it's very well written. And every single chapter, depending on what stage I am in life throughout that year, I can just go to a chapter in that book and it speaks to me personally. Like it's almost like how some people feel about the Bible, where
Mhm.
it's always there's something in there for every stage in your life. And in this book, there's a couple of chapters that I just have to go back to. One of them talks about um your name, who you are. If everything is stripped away from you, like you lose your job, you lose your house, your wife leaves you, you know what I mean, and your leg falls off all at the same time, what's left? Who are you? Like,
Mhm.
because some people find their identity in being a YouTuber, in being a doctor. I'm a doctor, and everything revolves around that. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
once you take that doctor away, like you're a surgeon. If I chop off your hands, what you got left? You know, who are you? Like you got to figure that out. Only you can answer that question, right? So once you actually finally answer that question for yourself, and you're the only one who deserves the answer, once you actually answer that question for yourself, dude, you are so freaking powerful at this point. You have unlocked the cheat code. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing
Mhm.
can touch you once you truly answered that question for yourself. And I feel like I have. And that's why I don't mind just walking around here wearing shirts with flowers on them. You know what I'm saying? Because I know who I am. And by the way, next time you invite me on this podcast, I'm gonna need you to get yourself a flower shirt, bro. This is
I
very
got
disrespectful.
I got one. I just was like, man, folks don't feel like, yeah, he just riding that into ground. I'm like, no, like, because I've done that before. I was wearing the Hawaiian floral shirts, and people are like, man, that don't even seem authentic. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll stop
Whatever,
looking.
man. Let them do what let them say what they gonna say, man. Let the haters speak. You got hey, this is how we roll here. But I'm just saying, like, once you figure this out, because honestly, I don't believe a lot of people will have figured out who they are. And the reason why I noticing is and say it with confidence is because of our state of the world today. There's a
Mhm.
lot of stuff going on in politics and different social things that are going
Mhm.
on. People are so easy to jump on certain bandwagons and just ride with some shit that don't even make sense. And it's because they don't even know who they are. They need to belong to something. And it,
Yeah.
you know how they say, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for
Call for
anything.
anything.
Exact same concept. If you don't know who you are, you just feel like you need to belong to something. And whatever comes along that will accept you or just slightly agrees with what you're thinking or feeling at the moment, you just gonna go jump in head first. No, man, just be you. It's a lot of room for individuals out here. It's okay to be out here by yourself as an outlier.
Yeah.
And that's where I find myself on a lot of occasions as an outlier because I know who I am.
Yeah.
But it started with the book though. So that's what I started this whole thing with. You gotta read the book. See, there's a lot of chaos going on here, man. Startle some stuff. They're like, why was I talking about this? Oh, the circus. Okay, there you go. Whole damn circus going on up in there, man.
Oh man.
Monkeys
So
and
my
shit, trapeze people flying around. You don't want to be in here. It's dark. You don't want to be in here. You don't put this on the internet, man. This is going on the internet. It's all good, man. It's what we do.
it is, man. So my last question to you is:
Uh-huh.
did you have fun today? You had
Dude,
fun.
I had a blast, man. This is fun. I love doing this kind of stuff. Oh, my eyes twitching. I love doing this kind of stuff, man. Just sharing my story, my journey, what goes on in the circus in here, you know. Just sometimes you got to get it out. This is great. This is a great platform to get it out, man. I appreciate you letting me get it out. This is therapy for me, entertainment for you, and entertainment for the people. But I got the therapy here. I'm the winner.
This is man. Definitely, man. I'd love to have you on the show again. We gotta chop it up again. And like I said, if you ever come out here to Hawaii, I take care of you, man. Because I'm the Hawaii guy for all my industry and creative friends that come out here. They're like, "Hey, I'm going to Hawaii. All right, what part? Where you stand? What you want to eat? What you want to go to? Let me take care of you."
As far as Hawaii, are there actually, let's see, this is where the not so smart part comes in. Is it really just one main island and there's a lot of inhabitable islands, or are all of them habitable as far
So
as
it's
Hawaii?
like there's the big island, the biggest island is called Hawaii, but
Mhm.
we nickname it Big Island. So that's the biggest one, but it's also kind of more I say it's more country. And then you've got the biggest tourist spot being Oahu, where Honolulu is, and then you've got Maui. Yeah, so Maui, Kauai, Lanai, Molokai. What's two other ones I can't think of right now? And then we got the ninth island, which is Vegas, because people like to leave here and go to Vegas. So we claim that as the ninth island.
Las Vegas?
Yeah,
Wow.
we call it the ninth island.
Wow.
If people go
Okay.
there, I mean, this is because you can't gamble here. There's no, because well, there is gambling. If you go down to downtown Chinatown in Honolulu, I mean, we got underground casinos, but we ain't telling nobody that. It's like Fight
Okay.
Club, you don't talk about it. So
Don't talk-
we got we got those, but because people here like to gamble, um, they go to Vegas, and so we just claim that as a ninth island.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna make it to Hawaii. Oh man, I'm gonna have to get my paper up though. I've heard it's very expensive to basically be there, so I'm gonna have to save up my pennies to get there and be there. Right?
I miss
What's
my
what's
IT
cost of
check
living like there?
sometimes. That's
What was
that's
that?
to say how expensive it is here. I miss my IT checks,
Oh man. Okay. See, you just all right. So
but that's why you have folks here to take care of you. That
I
way
got you.
you ain't gotta get all that. So like
That,
as as an example, two of my friends, voice actors. So John Eric Bentley, who does Buried in Final Fantasy VII remake, and then Gerald Rivers, who's in Bison and Street Fighter. So
mhm.
whenever they come out here, I'm like, yo, where you want to stay? I'm like, you can stay at my condo. I can find you a good hotel if you want. You need a car, I got you. Like, you ain't about to hit the brunt of all the tourist traps because it's a tourist trap. Hawaii, we want your money. That's why that's why everything's so damn expensive. Come here,
Okay.
go broke. No, I'm gonna protect you from that.
I
So yeah.
appreciate the hospitality and the honesty. All right. I'm gonna have to make it out there, man. I really want to. Me and my wife, we are considering, well, we're not considering, we want to move to Portugal at some point. I would give it about
Ooh,
8 years. And we want to move over there and just kind of do life for maybe a minimum of 10 years or so. But before we go there, I guess we got to stop by Hawaii now.
yes, sir. We love it
All
out
right,
here.
cool. Yeah, man.
So
But when you ever get time again, please have me back. I'm gonna need some more therapy at some point.
anytime, brother, you're always welcome back on. Any go ahead and plug your stuff and anything you're working on. And if you want to leave the audience with anything, floor is yours. You see, watch this. You get the full screen.
Oh, damn. Okay. This is a lot. It's the whole thing. Okay. Hey guys. How y'all doing? He just threw that in my face like that. No. Oh, just call me Antwan on Instagram. Just call me _Antwan. I had to remember that. New Stuff TV on YouTube, and you can find me under the New Stuff TV on TikTok as well. I don't do Twitter, and I really don't do Facebook, but you know where to find me, man. And I'm gonna give you the golden package every time you do. Now, y'all
Yeah.
keep being good to each other, and I'll see you when I see you.
Yes, sir. All right. And with that being said, people, we'll catch y'all on the next episode. If you want to catch this episode and many others, we available on every major podcasting platform. If you want to find this in video format, you can catch it on youtube.com/Mekel Casanova, as well as on Spotify. We're a Spotify partner. So if you want to watch the video format, go over there. We're also on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, anywhere. Look, if you can get a coconut and wire it into the ground, get some electricity, you can find us. We on the You weren't supposed to laugh right there, man. I was going with it. You're going to be able to find, if you can take two cans and put them together, you can put some string, you can catch the podcast there. We everywhere. Universal. We worldwide, people. So with that being said, we going to catch y'all in the next one.
Hey, you're a damn fool, man. My guy said put two coconuts together. Okay. Did you turn this off yet, man?
No, I kept recording.
Turn it off, bro. This is embarrassing me.
For your time for listening to this episode of the Kasanova Podcast, number one podcast in Hawaii. If you found this episode to be incredibly enjoyable, informative, or if there's anything you gain from it, or any insight, or anything that's good that you really, really enjoyed, make sure whatever platform you're listening to it on, or if you're watching it, leave a comment if that's available on the platform, like it, share it around with someone you think would enjoy it, and give us some feedback, because your feedback is exactly what we need to keep this show going. And if you're wondering what are some ways that you could support the show, we got various ways. We've got Patreon, we have channel memberships over on YouTube, as well as Subscribestar, Coffee, and so much more. Links for everything will be in the description of the podcast, so make sure you go check that out. And with all that being said, I hope you have an aloha rest of your day.
Let them know that I'm next level. I'm a whole new kind of guy. Yeah. Yes, at the top spot, in case you forgot. We the ones that got the block hot, bullet got the shot.